Well, hello there. It's Marian Gellatly coming to you again on Happy Canada Day. So, for all of our friends that are in Canada, I hope you're having a great day. And to all of us here in the US, I know we're all geared up, if not already started, to have a wonderful Independence Day weekend. So, make sure when you come online that you tell me that you're here and that you tell me if you've got any celebrations going on this weekend or whether you're just going to simply enjoy and relax and have a restful weekend. We have friends coming down. I have a very dear friend whose birthday is the 4th of July, so we spend 4th of July with them every year. And then my eldest daughter, son in law, and her two boys are coming. So we will have a little bit of a household here and do some fun and games but just hang out here around the house. So making my grocery list and getting ready for the celebration to begin. So what do you have planned? Make sure you say hi to me and tell me what you're going to be doing this weekend. Well, this weekend, or I shouldn't say this weekend, this week, my husband and I just got back from celebrating our 40th anniversary, and we chose to not get on a plane. We were just going to do something within driving distance. And we do enjoy wine tasting and we do enjoy good food. So we decided to travel 2 hours south of where we are to Paso Robles, which is just a really up and coming wine region in the state of California. So we went down there, and guess what? The temperatures were sizzling. One day it was 109, and one day it was 107. Well, living here on the coast, those of you that may live on the coast right along with me, you know how, we live in fog this time of the year. So wardrobe, well, it was a little difficult, but anyway, we survived. We had a great time. Well, what happened was while I was away, one of the members of this group sent me a text, and I'm always saying, "What would you like to talk about? What would you like me to address?" And so she wrote me a text, and she said, "I'd really love if you would discuss the topic of how to dress professionally in the heat." And then I added on to it, especially if you're 50 and better. So I thought perfect topic for our group because, as you know, this group is all about all of us that are 50 and better. Some of us are still professional working women. Some of us are not. Some of us are retired. But I still think this is a good topic for all of us that are dressing professionally or just need to dress for other things that you have going on in your life, whether that's travel or whether that is volunteering in your community. It doesn't matter. But how you dress, I think, does matter. At least that's an important topic for me. So let me just see who I have here. Hi, Betty. You've got a staycation. Okay, with the Sproul family as well. Very good. And Diane, you've got a restful staycation. Maybe here's some music. Yes, we've got some good options here on the peninsula. And Leslie, hi, friends coming to celebrate their anniversary and watch fireworks. Wonderful. Well, good. I'm glad you've got some fun plans. I know my daughter left this morning, my youngest daughter, to go to Texas to have some fun down there with Texas friends and fireworks on a lake. And I was so worried and seeing all the news about, the 17,000 flights that are being canceled this weekend. And she made it. So I'm excited for her too. So anyway, it sounds like we're all having fun. All right. Well, let's get started. And I just want to say that this is for you, Teresa, and to any of those of you that have an interest in this topic. So I always feel whether you're going to go networking, whether you're going to go lunching with a VIP, or whether you're going to be heading to your office, or even in some cases, if you're going to be traveling, what you wear, especially when it's hot, is something that is maybe a little difficult to think about because warm weather clothes and dressing professionally, sometimes we don't think go hand in hand, but they absolutely can. So that's what I want to talk about. And you know that I love talking about fashion and I love talking about style. But this topic today, I think about professional dressing is such an important topic. And it is because it can be a strategic tool in your life when you really think about, okay, it's more than just going to my closet and pulling out something and putting it on, but it's more about, okay, well, these are some of the questions you would ask yourself. Where am I going to be going, first of all? What is the location? What is the culture? What am I going to be involved in? So, where am I going to be going? What am I going to be doing? Am I going to be network? Am I going to be lunching with a prospective client? Am I going to be speaking on a stage? Am I going to be working in my community and volunteering? So, what are you going to be doing? And who are you going to be with? Okay, so think about who are the people. They just your buddies, your good friends? Are they your family? Well, that look is going to be totally different than if you're with a client or you're with a prospective client or whether you're with somebody that you would like to influence or you would like that person to help you be an influencer for what you do. See, there are all kinds of different situations. And then you want to think about, okay, well, if I know where I'm going and what I'm going to be doing and who I'm going to be with, and the next question you want to say to yourself is, all right, well, what message do I want to send by what I am wearing? Because as we all know, our clothing, our style, really is a nonverbal communicator, and it's something that we convey about ourselves without even having to open our mouth or say a word. So it's powerful. So then you have to say, okay, well, once you know what message or statement that you want to make, well, what clothes do I have in my closet that will communicate those kinds of things? And why? Why will they communicate this particular message or why won't they communicate? So you can see there's a series of questions here that are all really important that you can see, I hope, that it's more than just picking something out of your closet. It's strategic thinking to really show up as you want to show up, because I say that self presentation counts. And I think all of you know that. You've heard me say it time and time again, but I will continue to say it. So, all right, let me just quickly. Okay, Teresa, good, you're here. So, this topic, my dear, is for you. All right. So, if you have questions as I talk about some of these things, I want you to, go ahead and jot them in the comment section. I'll come back and answer them as best I can before we get off. So, of course, that heat is really a big, I don't know, a big challenge this time of the year. And I think, however, we can do it. So I've got some pictures that I want to show you. There are several things I want to talk about. But first and foremost, I always say that a jacket is a woman's powerful tool. Now, you might say, a jacket when it's hot? Ugh, that doesn't sound very appealing. So, what I want you to think about is, well, is the color of the jacket going to have an effect in making you feel cooler? So, let me show you a picture of that. Hold on a second here while I find my picture. So you can see this side by side. I think both of these outfits for warm weather dressing, when you are in business and you're thinking about professionalism in business, these kinds of looks really, I think, would definitely set you apart as a professional. So you can start off this way, maybe with a sleeveless top in a pattern that you love. You notice also the color. The colors are light. We don't have black on. We don't have dark navy blue. We've got light colors, and the fabrication is also going to be important. So looking, if you're in warm weather climates or you're having to interact in warm weather climates, you're going to think about fabric, you're going to think about color. But this third piece, this finish piece, I think is what up levels this woman's look. And maybe that's going to be in a linen or a very lightweight cotton. And you notice in a very light color. So when she slips it on, she still looks cool, as opposed to, okay, so here we have a light jacket on, but you see she's dressed in black underneath. So that is a much heavier look than this look. So that's why I say color definitely comes into play in warm weather. Okay. Here you can see that this is not a tailored jacket, is it? It's probably a rayon jacket, or it could even be, again, a cotton or a linen blend. It could be a gauzy type of fabric, but it definitely finishes off the look and gives her just that elevated look. So lightweight jackets, I think, are really important, lined or unlined, depending on how hot your temperature gets. So if you're in 100+ degrees, then yeah, you're not going to want to have anything lined. But if you're in the, 80 to 90 degree weather, yes, a light lining with a lightweight fabric definitely is going to work. So very professional. And again, here you're seeing though that third piece, that finished piece that elevates the look. Now you can also do that, okay, with a skirted look. So one thing I might do if you're in really hot weather, I would take this tank and I would lighten that up so it's not so dark. You can see just by adding the white to the skirt, that lightens up the look a little bit. And then putting on a lightweight jacket, having it available is important. Also, I think the shoe wear is going to be important to you. So you're going to want to think about, do you need, depending on the situation, do you need to have a closed toe shoe, a pump, a kitten heel like this? Or can you be more casual and open up the toe and let the air flow around the foot? That's certainly a wonderful option. And let's see here. Here is another example again of, light, white, cream, whatever your lightest neutral is, and then having a jacket that you can put on, if you need to. So you could actually walk into a meeting with a jacket on. You could take it off, hang it over the chair, have a very casual look. This is a linen top to bottom, open toe shoe, but a fun light version, light color, professional look. Now you might say, well, I happen to love dresses. I don't love pants. Great, fine. Then you could do something like this little sundress. Now you'll notice this sundress, however, there are sundresses and there are sundresses. And I think professionally, keeping yourself a little more covered up, like this one, is better than wearing a spaghetti strap, kind of a more social sort of a dress. So she's got a little bit of a higher neck, so she's not showing a lot of décolleté. She does have a, what do I want to say here, where, under her jacket, she could go ahead and still wear, or under her dress, she could still wear a bra, and that's going to be protective. It's a fun little pattern. It's happy. And there again, there's taking a jean jacket and having that available if you need to just throw it over your shoulders at some point. Now here's another look. Again, we talk about, the fuller leg. Well, the fuller leg is really wonderful when it's hot because what does it do? It allows that airflow to circulate. And of course, these are linen, both the top as well as the pant are linen. And so again, we're dark down here, but we've got the relief of the light up above. So this could also be paired if you really want to make it even lighter looking, then go ahead with a white pant as well with the baby blue jacket. But do you see there's no structure in the jacket, and yet that little piece just adds and elevates to a professional look. Here is another way that you can create a third piece or that jacketed finish by using a button-down shirt. And last week we talked about white button-down shirts. Today, here's a colored button-down shirt. But again, you can throw that over your shoulders or you can put it on if you want to elevate the look. Okay, white pants, light color, wider leg, lets the air flow. The shoe, if it's appropriate, that's a flat form shoe with a tie, but it keeps the foot cooler. And here's another example. Okay, this does not have that third piece, but there are times when it's not really required. So here's you really have to think about, again, the location, who you're going to be with, what you're messaging to convey. But here's what I want to say about this particular piece or this particular look. You see the polish of the necklace, the polish of the handbag, the polish of the shoes, so the polish of the earrings. So professionally, then having accessories that really will finish off and polish the look is really important. So if we didn't have these pieces, we would essentially have white linen pants and we would have a flowy overtop, which is very cute, but those extra accessories are what really put the polish on this look. Now we're getting a little more casual here, but again, some of us are networking or having lunch with people and we can dress to this level of casualness. So you have to think about, again, all those questions I asked you right at the beginning. But again, here we've got the polish because look at the attention to the detail with the accessories. The handbag, look at the scarf that she's tied in the belt loops that really, add a little statement instead of a standard belt. She's got on a necklace. She's got on, I can't tell her shoes, but it looks like she's got shoes that kind of match the handbag and tie the whole look together. Again, look at the white pants. Now here would be a really fun top, but no jacket. But you see, again, this definitely can be considered an appropriate piece for business, depending, again, all the questions that you have to ask yourself. The thing I love about this particular piece is that the pattern is geometric, and geometric patterns have a stronger messaging than florals do. So just keep that in mind. So do you happen to like geometrics? Do you like stripes? Do you like checks? If you do, then make sure that you've got something in your closet that you could actually slip on and, go to a meeting. Here again, the polish is what? In that necklace and in those earrings. Here's another example of fabrication. Do you see the fabrication is very lightweight? It's almost wispy, so it lets the air flow through. And yet it's done in a modest way by covering up the arms. And depending on your age, I'm now getting to a point where the arms aren't looking quite so great as they used to. So having some sort of a little finished top like this with that mesh sleeve or that mesh bodice is really a great way to go. So it gives the illusion of skin underneath, and it gives the airflow. Here again, look at the polish, the necklace, the great handbag, shoes, and light color. How about skirts? Are you a skirt wearer? And what are you going to pair back with your skirt? A tank top, a little shell like what we see here, light color, brighter colors, a fun pattern, attention to the detail, attention to the polish, with the shoe, with the belt, with the necklace, but all hot weather appropriate. And then I have two more pictures for you here. Okay. Now this happens to be a mesh dress as well. So I'm looking again for fabrication. So those of you that live in hot climates, you're going to really pay attention to your fabrics, and you're going to pay attention to your color for sure. So this is kind of what I call a definition of really simple dressing. You just slip it on and you go. The thing I think that's missing here is the detail, the polish, to just adding some sort of a long necklace or a bracelet or something that would give it a little more refinement, a little more finish in its look. And this gets very casual, but again, there might be times when, you know, depending on your situation, this is going to be very appropriate. So you can see there's no fit to this. It's rather boxy, and yet it encourages the airflow. It's got the short sleeves. She does finish it off with simple sandals. I would, again, probably do something maybe with a closed toe. do more of a mule there, or I would do a little dressier sandal just to finish off the look a little bit more. Now this is a darker color, and so it reads a little heavier than some of the other ones that we have seen. So there you have some suggestions. So I mentioned to you, I'll get my cheat sheet here, a finished piece, meaning a jacket, a cardigan, or a blouse that's worn open as a finished piece. That's really key to have in your closet, so check that out. Number one, color. Do you have light colors for the hot temperature? What about your fabrics? Are your fabrics lightweight? Are they breathable? And do they flow? Do they give you some airflow? Patterns, florals versus geometrics versus no pattern at all, solid. The fit. Do we want things that are going to cling to the body right now? No. Do we want skinny jeans right now? No, not in hot climate. We want things that are going to let the air flow. Necklines, you know, being modest as a professional woman, I think is important, and yet, you know, go ahead and let some air, you know, hit the chest. Make sure your sleeves, you don't have to wear sleeves, but I definitely would stay away from spaghetti straps unless you're going to definitely wear some sort of a bolero sweater or a jean jacket or some sort of a jacket over it. I think spaghetti strap dresses are really meant for more social life, not for professional. And then accessories to polish your look, your shoes, whether they're going to be closed toe, whether they're going to be open toe, whether they're going to be sandals, whether they're going to be platforms, whether they're going to be wedges. You know, you have to think about all of these different things as you're putting your summer wardrobe together. And then lastly, dresses sleeveless or with sleeves. And if sleeves, then make sure that they are breathable, they are mesh fabric, they are something that will allow the airflow. So let me just check and see if I have any questions here. My arms are great, Teresa, are they? They're starting to get a little saggy. Yes, I do work out, but you know, sometimes the skin starts to go. So that's the thing that we have to worry about. All right, I think that's the brand Cut from the Cloth. Yes, the Cut from the Cloth is a great brand for sure. Jean jacket, yes, is comfortable in hot weather. Sometimes they can get a little too warm. So even doing a jean jacket in a light cotton or even a linen fabrication, but it's styled like a jean jacket, but the fabrication isn't denim or not a heavy denim. That's the good thing to think about. So Wendy, you say yes, you love lightweight jackets, absolutely for sure. And Betty, you recently saw an IBM ad with men and women pictured in casual pants and long tops. I wondered if what we used to call business casual is now business attire. After COVID, yes, I think it's going to take us a while to maybe move the pendulum back a little bit, but it's not going to go back to where it was. So, what we used to do 10 years ago, what was considered business dress and what was considered business casual dress, is definitely changed. So, you're right. When IBM is putting ads out with men and women in casual pants and long tops, that is definitely a sign that things have changed. And I don't know if that's a bad thing. I think we all want to be comfortable. And you can see everything that I showed you today is casual, or definitely, because all the fabrics are casual, the colors are casual, some of the patterns are casual, but we can elevate the look by using all the things that I've demonstrated to you today. So let's see, what else do we have here? Anything else? Okay, Karen, you said you saw a New York Times article calling it office ready. Okay, well, I think it's going to be very interesting to see what happens for office ready in New York versus what is office ready, let's say, in Silicon Valley or in the Midwest. So, we've got our suburbs and then we've got our cities, and the looks are very different. And that's why I say location, location, location is really important to think about, because you've got to do what's appropriate and what's right for your location. So here on the Monterey Peninsula, we're not going to do what might be done in New York City or in Chicago, even though those areas have definitely casual down, but we are even more casual than that. So, any other final comments or questions here? I hope, Teresa, that this was a topic that helped you just kind of define a little bit more, or see when you go to your closet what to look for and what to shop for. And I can tell you right now, July 4th sales are big, and a lot of online bargains, let me tell you. I've been looking myself. So that's it for this week. I've got on my red, white, and blue to celebrate and to acknowledge Happy Canada Day today and Happy Independence Day for us on Monday. So just a reminder that, well, two reminders I'm going to mention. Number one, if you have a topic like Teresa did today that you want me to talk about, please go ahead and put it in the comments area or send me a text. That would be great. I'd love to hear. And secondly, if any of you are still feeling like, I'm not really quite sure which of those looks Marion showed really would suit my style personality the best, or I'm not sure what fabrics I should be wearing, or I'm not sure what cuts are best for my body, or what colors work for me, I just want you to know that my Empowered Style program is going to be starting up again in August. And I would invite you to go and check it out online right at the moment. I have a video that talks all about it on my powerful-presence.com/empowered-style. So go to that URL. I'll go ahead and put it here in the comments section afterwards, but go check it out. It will pop up with my video that I talk about it. And also there is a place for you to download the 7 pillars of an empowered style, the 7 pillars that I think every woman really needs to nail down to have a style that she can truly call her own. So just know I only take 10 women in the class, as well as there's a $500 discount right now through July 28th. So if any of that appeals to you, check it out. I'd love to have you. I've had nothing but 5-star reviews in the program. So I'd love to see you there because we have a whole lot of fun and we actually become friends and we miss one another when the program's over. The program is a 3-month program. So that's it for now. Happy 4th of July, and I will see you back here next Fashion Flair Friday. Bye bye now.